So the goal for this live is to go through the creator search insights and hopefully have something that's demoable or at least describable. No. See if anybody stops by. I'm gonna make myself hmm. Going to expand this window. There we go. Let's see if a filter would help. I have anything in my beard? Sometimes I do. Enhance. Filters. Just got in from a walk. Having some connection issues. Hmm. That'll be fine. Whoa. Interesting. So, today's goal is to go through the creator search insights and then publish something useful. When there are people here, then it's easier for me to mark moments because sometimes they send gifts, and then those highlight the dimensions of whatever we're talking about that they want to bring up. But I have some creator search insights, and I can set those as my background and talk through them. Let's see. So I'm going to set the creator search insights that I screenshotted from TikTok. Set that as the background. Autism awareness, international student, content creator, writers community, artist support, digital marketing for moms. What else? I can't read those at the bottom quite. There's some TikTok stuff. Email club subscription. What is this? Asking AI questions. I'm not gonna read the last one, but I also wrote them down. So I can read through the ones that I wrote down, which are college content creator, life as a writer, writers community, artist support, digital marketing for moms, how to run a business, small creators, and appreciation post. So there's another one as well. And for the sake of completion, I can show those as well. So TikTok has creator search insights available to, I'm not sure if it's all creators or just the people who make things. Well, a creator is a person who makes things on TikTok. I'm not sure how universal these insights are, but they post these and they describe who's thinking about them, and you can make videos and sometimes align with the trends. So my goal for the remainder of this 25 minutes is to describe that it is possible to have use these for content, and if you want to, you can go live and talk about whatever you're planning on making content about. And sometimes that can be useful for synchronizing a team. So I'm going to cut these out as well and start thinking about what I might say about all of these. College content creation. So the world is changing a bit, and in a lot of ways it's remaining the same. We want some of the changes to occur because a lot of the things that feel pretty classic about humanity aren't necessarily the most desirable. Like people who make the world worse And what does it mean to improve the world? How can we set the alternative motion, the alternative direction in motion, and actually have conversations about what that might mean? We can go live and talk about what's on our minds, and we can exist in community that we form with people who are wondering similar ways. So I recommend that college content creators start thinking about how they would want to meet other people and what some of those relationship structures might be, and start planning something cohesive so it is possible to actually bring people onto a team and have a thing that you're working on. So productions and learning what makes a production successful in college, ideally that would provide a space where you can do some experimentation and you wouldn't be as concerned about the ways that people perceive the outcomes, the endpoints, ideally. And also, ideally, in a working environment, there'd be enough grace to provide room for experimentation. But it can be stressful in an employment context, or like in a context where the goal of the space is specifically to earn income for the people who are participating in the space, which is often what I find stressful. I often do find that stressful. So, college content creators, there we go, can start making productions, can start having conversations about what they're trying to build, and building room, making space for those kinds of relationships to develop in common. Let me make sure I didn't check all of the audio things, so I hope it's coming through all right. Right now, there isn't anybody here, which I'm okay with because I scheduled a half hour for this particular live. When I go live just for the sake of being available, it can be a bit more exhausting to not have anyone show up, or just have the people who are scroll by. Sometimes they ask questions and then leave while you're answering the question, which is, like how much you want to put into the things that you consider, and somebody who's scrolling through passively does. But I'm planning on using this particular live stream for clips so I can post this to YouTube and describe that there are people who watch videos on YouTube or TikTok who watch live streams. So I wouldn't be going live if I didn't believe this were somewhat valuable to my ecosystem. And there are things that I can wonder about. I didn't prepare a lot of the visuals, but I do know that it's possible for me to extend some of the wonder in common. Woof, woof. Like I can talk about the things that I want to build. Go, look. Go, look. I can talk about the things that I want to build and describe that there is a space for those. Booth's looking for treats. Sometimes she hears something and responds to it. So I've been trying to redirect some of the ways she internalizes the random sounds, so it's a little bit easier to do things. Hey Raven, how you doing? Welcome to come up if you want to. Today I'm talking through creator search insights. Happy May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
And with you as well. I'm not sure what the proper response to that is.
We usually say you on the 6th. We'll see you again on the 6th. That's what we usually do.
The 6th.
Yeah.
True.
It's kind of a weird one.
I appreciate that the holiday has recognition in some public canon.
To us, it's just as important as 420. It's, it's one of them things you mark. Like, I don't mark Valentine's Day. I'd rather mark the, National Frog Day, which is in March.
National Frog Day?
Mm-hmm. There's a national holiday for everything. If you search for it hard enough.
How do you celebrate National Frog Day?
You think about frogs. You act like a frog. I don't know. Maybe you go down to a pond and sing with the frogs. I don't know. Just recognize it.
Do people in the UK ask if you're feeling froggy?
We have a saying, where if somebody is acting a little bit crazy, we usually say they're mad as a box of frogs. Because there would be nothing crazier than opening a box and it's full of hopping frogs. So I kind of like the visual imagery of some sayings.
I tried generating an image for May the 4th be with you, and ChatGPT said, "We're so sorry, but the image we created may violate our guardrails concerning similarity to third party content."
Oh, now they're worried about stealing other people's content, but not when it's ours.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're more worried about, is it Disney? Disney's lawyers.
I'm like, at this point, they've got enough money that they shouldn't be going after other people. Like, it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to subscribe just to think about things.
It kind of does feel like that. Draw a box of frogs. Unrelated. May the 4th be with you. Thanks, Jimmy Deeds. How you doing? Welcome to come up if you want to.
And the thing is like, it is connected to the nerd culture, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think being like, I'm a Trekkie, like that will always be mine. I can't deal with Star Wars. I can't, but I will participate. Like I don't do Christmas, but I'll say Happy Christmas to people. So it doesn't take much out of your day to acknowledge things.
I feel like Star Wars is more aligned with geek culture now, and Star Trek is more aligned with nerd culture.
Yeah. Um, and I wonder what the difference is between a geek and a nerd, because to me they're very similar.
My initial thought is motivation for the type of depth and obscurity with respect to a mainstream culture.
See, when it was like nerds to me is more books and learning, whereas geeks is more computer and computer games. But I don't know if that's just my way of putting it.
There
Look
we
at all
go.
them frogs. They all look very happy, don't they?
Actually, yeah, as happy as a frog can look. Looks like they're
They look
smiling.
they look cozy.
I
With
saw a
all their
video of a
friends.
person putting makeup on a frog, and I wondered about how that would be. Is that okay? Can you put makeup on a frog and have that be okay? It's a
I don't
profound thought.
think
The idea of Star Wars has overlapped the philosophy of the movies. You want to come up? You're welcome to. Hey, Big Diction, how you doing? Bum bum bum. What was I just looking up? Can you put makeup on a frog?
I don't think you should.
It seems like that's how they breathe.
Yeah, like through their skin.
While viral videos show people applying makeup to frogs for amusement, you should not put makeup on a frog. Amphibian, amphibians have highly permeable, sensitive skin that absorbs substances directly, making human cosmetic chemicals toxic and harmful to them.
Hmm.
That seems, well, that's a bummer. I
I
only have
mean,
4 points.
you can always
Less than seven.
Photoshop makeup onto a frog afterwards. There's no need to do in real life.
There we go. Frogs are beautiful as they come.
They're magical
Life as a
creatures.
writer. Is there a way to tie these into the creator search insights? Small creators, appreciation post, college content creator, life as a writer, writers community, artist support, digital marketing for moms, and how to run a business.
It's like I was just filling in a survey for our housing association here, and they were asking for themes of like events, and I was like thinking of the most like abstract things to say, but in a way that sounds very like company speak. So I was like bridging the gap of understanding. And it's the way they use words to go around things and make it seem a lot more fancy than what it is.
Corporate speak events.
It's like out of the box thinking and blue sky thinking and like,
Out of the box events in corporate speak. I'm going to ask ChatGPT 5.5 instant. So part of the idea that I can hopefully describe is that there are ideas that can come from just spending time, just doing whatever. And while we can generate things, this live is only scheduled for a half hour, and I'm probably going to post parts of it or all of it on YouTube to describe the concept.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many of these topics would make sense to precipitate into anything in particular, but I have to do work throughout the day anyway. Yesterday, I performed 14 hours of work for 3 people. Started working at 6:30 in the morning. I think it was like 6:20 actually. And then called it around 8, 9-ish. So that's kind of what I have to do anyway, every day. And ideally, that wouldn't be an expectation. I think that we should be mindful as we enter a world where AI exists, that we don't say, oh, I detest everything that uses AI, and I only want things to come from humans, because when things are required to come from humans, someone has to do a lot of work to describe the humanity. And we can, like, you can see that I have been making things, and I can introduce these into some sort of common frame. But what's the wonder? The box of frogs is the thing that I'm thinking about. I've already thought about all these thoughts. So if I have to do more work today, the thing that I want to do is think about something else. To be
It's
honest.
like the one thing that annoys a lot of people about how we speak is because we've been through the care system and dealt with social services a lot of our speech to other people sounds like we are a worker or a charity worker, and we're always pinpointing people or different services and different charities that they can plug into. And it's not even a job, it's just a duty that I do. I don't even think of it. Um, I think it's kind of fun.
There are natural roles that people find. Did I miss the hat and mustache? I think I did. You're welcome to come up if you want to. There are roles that people tend to align themselves with. And there are also roles that become necessary when there is a surplus or deficit in some areas. And ideally, we would find ways to bridge when someone has a surplus and when someone has a deficit. And those don't always happen the ways that we want to. And ideally, that would be where AI becomes very useful. So we can do the things that we've learned how to do and make those spaces available for peeps, and then just do the other things and not really think about it. But it'll take some time to get there. Opportunities.
With AI, I think what needs to change is how it's perceived, especially if we change what it's called. Because I'd rather call it assisted intelligence than artificial intelligence, because it's really here to assist us, not take over.
Assisted.
Because yeah.
How do you make that? How does that become more common? The things that I do have required practice, and when I use AI, I can extend the things that I've practiced, but that doesn't make it very obvious where the value comes from. Because even appreciating the amount of time that I put into art, I think, requires an amount of practice. And if someone sees that AI is, like, I hope that I can show some examples. I hope that I can point to a process that describes a reason for people to care, and then show how that relates to something that was generated, and then have that be like, how interesting is the generated version with respect to what went into the generation.
And I think the source material is just as important as what comes out. It's a filtration system, more or less. Like with AI, it's really good at summarizing and bullet pointing things and breaking things down into digestible chunks. Um, and oftentimes wording, AI can put it in a way that's more understandable for general population.
That's a big thing. There are so many people who have so many different styles of communication. Trying to compete with how easy it is for someone to enter a bubble where they only consume things that have been made easy for them. And trying to compete with that just is kind of impossible. And we can
Yeah.
try to incentivize a bit more patience and tolerance, but when there's important information, there is sometimes an amount of urgency where you need to put whatever is necessary into a frame where someone can actually access the purpose of what you're presenting.
This is why I like in forms and stuff that like important questions that need to be answered have to be highlighted in bold so they stand out. Because I'm a visual person. If you give me a list of instructions with words and no pictures, I could not do that. I cannot translate it. I'm always been a visual learner. Like if you show me how to do something, then I'm more likely to pick that up. Um, Whereas a lot of education system is text orientated,
I don't
which
even think that is towards the intent of providing students with the most effective learning materials. I think that it's only to get the content out
mm.
instead of actually making it workable.
And this is why like Shelby's been writing a lab book for earth science thing. She's been very mindful of how she's questioned things and put things in as a teacher and as a student. Like it has to work for both parties, and that often is the hardest part.
Is it online somewhere?
I don't know if it's been published yet. I'll have to ask her. Um,
When it is, I wouldn't mind linking to that. That'd be cool.
she did a whole tour of US national parks by
Okay.
herself in a car, camping, like lone woman on the road. Like I tell you, superpowers. Um, and what's weird is everything started to change when she came back. This is when the government changed, and I said to her, "This is a barometer of change. You can look back in 10 years' time of what you studied before all these changes came in." So it was actually a very useful time to go out in the field. Um,
I'm curious about that.
so I find it fascinating that I can hold a conversation with an earth science professor or somebody that's very educated, and I didn't even go to college.
That is
um,
cool. I do appreciate that. I've learned to appreciate that more.
mm,
Not everyone tries to make their language accessible to people who haven't studied only what they've studied.
mm. And I think there should be no gatekeeping. If somebody asked me how I did my art or what pens I used, I would freely offer that information. Um,
Also, I can
so
say that it wouldn't be easy to copy you. Hey Ash, how you doing? Like even if you gave your secrets away, I don't know anyone who can do the things that you can do.
No, and that's the thing. And this is why I don't talk in my lives because I cannot explain to you what I am doing. There is no thought, there is no image. I'm not trying to get somewhere. I'm just flowing, and so usually that comes with a muteness, um, which is it's kind of weird for people when they hear us speak and go, "You actually can talk. You do have a brain." I'm like, "Yeah."
I
Most of
didn't
the
know you
time.
were from the UK for a while. That was
Mm.
a surprise to me.
A
Pleasant
lot of
surprise.
people, a lot of people call me he because they just assume that I'm a man from the way that I talk and text and stuff.
Interesting.
Um, I'm not there most of the time, and I never want to see myself as more talented or skilled than anybody. I'm just expressing myself, and everybody's expression is just as valuable. And I don't care if it's just a squiggle on a page. Um,
True.
Excuse me, Ash. Ash always has to bring down the tone of any conversation.
Welcome to
um,
come up too if you want to, Ash. Probably going to be
uh,
live for 3 more minutes in this
3 more
session.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, I just wanted
it's
to.
always
Pardon?
lovely talking with you. We always have a good laugh. We always find something interesting to generate weird images.
I do appreciate it. Today I'm wondering about how, is today Monday? RPG
Yeah.
Wednesday can stroll through your art. There's actually progression now. So I think that on Wednesday we could probably do an actual campaign because there are enough characters with enough definition and enough scenes that have been generated. Recently, Goose
Mm.
generated some images or turned those into animations. And there are a few, I think there's still some time in the free trial. It would be cool if somebody wanted to support this ecosystem. Um, if we could subscribe to Super Grok for another month or two, which is $30 per month. And then I also have the pricing card is gonna be on TikTok. It's here, but you can't really see it because it's cut off. But
Yeah.
throughout the week, it would be cool to find scenes and artifacts, ways to turn the art that you stumble upon into artifacts that characters in RPG Wednesday can find. And then later,
Mm.
that can be maybe an artist residency kind of thing, but down the line.
Yeah. It's interesting. It was funny this morning. I was like listening to music on my live, and I stumbled across Bardcore. And it was like, I don't care how small the room is, I'm just going to throw a fireball. And there's was it a 10-6 in your face? And I was just loving all this music, and I was like, oh, what's going on? But I love a bit of tavern, medieval, goblin music. It's always fun.
I like that. I played a bard in my first D&D campaign.
Mhm.
Also, thanks for the follow, Ash.
Ash does some interesting art. Um, he's very talented, is Ash.
Nice. Follow you back.
See, I only have quality people around me, you know that.
I appreciate it. It took time it took time to find peeps on TikTok that
Mm.
consistently spend time with people who I would want to meet. If that's the right way to put it. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Like if
Actually, that's not necessarily true. When I got started with the authors, there was a wave of meeting people, but then everyone kind of met the people that they met, and a lot of authors are introverts. So
yeah.
that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, this was meant to be a quick live, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
you all for stopping by.
been awesome chatting with you, and we will chat with you all later.
Likewise.
Have
Catch you
fun.
later.
All right, bye.